What's up, Game Boys and Girls? Big T here, back with another video. I've been gone for a little while, but what a better time to come back than the reveal of the Switch 2, even though we kind of got a reveal already because of all the leaks and speculation and stuff. So I'm just going to start with, people often do, the good and the bad. What's the good and the bad? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to kind of ramble a little bit here and kind of, control my thoughts here, try to figure out, what I want to talk about, when and where. But I think the first thing I want to talk about is the logo. I think it's a little bland. Like, I would rather, let's say, this. And then you have, it would be here, the 2. And then maybe what I would do is go, whoop, open that up, put the 2 in there, and that just seems more, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for, when it seems more equilibrium, that's not the right word, but where it's better form factor to me than having the 2 off to the side. It seems kind of weird. A lot of people are talking about, this Nintendo's first console with a number after it, a 2. Yeah, I guess that's interesting, but it makes sense. Switch to Switch 2. What we're going to call it, the Switch U. That didn't work out too well. But I will say, an observation of that, it seems like Nintendo's Evolution consoles don't do as well. So I would kind of expect this not to do as well as the original Switch is doing, or has done. It depends on where on the spectrum does that fall. Is it a DS to 3DS kind of fall off? I think it'll be somewhere around there, or maybe even like the NES to Super NES, where it was like a 10 million difference. I think it might be more than that, but I don't know. You never can tell. The software is going to be what matters as far as how well it sells, I think, and how long it lasts. But just be mindful of that. All the Evolution consoles haven't done as well as the Revolution consoles. And so, being a Nintendo fan that I am, I'm really more excited about the Revolution consoles than the Evolution. And that goes for all of them, basically. Even the Wii U, there was some cool stuff with the gamepad and stuff, but I was definitely more of a Wii fan than a Wii U fan. I was still a fan of both, but I was more excited about the Wii than I was the Wii U. So yeah, be mindful of that. But you never know. Timing changes everything. Maybe the timing with this kind of system coming out and the types of games it's going to get from third parties and stuff like that will help change that, will help affect that in ways that we can't see. The same way the timing of when the Dreamcast came out really affected it negatively. And you can even say the same thing about the N64 or the GameCube and maybe even the Xbox, original Xbox. Maybe it was just a timing thing. That early 2000s, if you will, late 90s, that time period. So, yeah, the logo, I just think it's more, I want to say isometric, but that's not the right word either. Maybe if I figure out what the word is, I'll put it up on screen. It's just, that's, it's not a big deal, obviously. I just think it would have been cooler. But yeah, we see it. It's basically what the leaks were, the renders were, the companies with their peripherals. I always mess that word up. Peripherals, their stuff that, the add-on, grips and all that kind of stuff. They kind of leaked a lot of stuff already. And here's the thing. Some people are saying, it's not exciting, or it's not as exciting as it would have been, surprising as it would have been had we not had the leaks. I disagree. I think it still wouldn't have been as exciting. First of all, it was just a tiny little trailer. What was it, 2.5 minutes long? It just basically showed off what it looks like, There were some hints at what it could do. but mostly it just showed off what it looks like. There's no real details there. So I think it still would have been underwhelming regardless of how it looks. I mean, that doesn't matter. They kind of gave us, because I think I joked about this in the Juice Loose podcast, that they can't just do like what Sony does with their hardware reveals, where it's just a trailer of this ominous thing flying around. Now, this wasn't ominous. You saw it from the beginning, basically. But it was that kind of a trailer where it's just like, oh, cool music or interesting music with the hardware itself flying around until you get the big reveal of what it looks like. And we, like I said, we all kind of knew what it was going to look like. The more excitement stuff is going to come in, the feature set, and the power of it, and what types of games it's going to get. So with, I guess you could say, some of the stuff that it revealed, or kind of revealed, was the mouse capabilities. And I didn't really bring this up at the time when I watched it, but I started thinking about it. Like, what if Nintendo goes back to putting, software in the box? Because there wasn't any in Switch, although 1-2 Switch probably should have been in the box or built in to the system itself. That would have made sense, but it obviously sold well, so it didn't really matter. But what if that mouse is something that incorporates some kind of like creative software, where you can use the mouse, like a Mario Paint, right? A lot of people are talking about Mario Paint. That would be like cool software that was already loaded onto the system itself, kind of like with Astrobot, Playroom for PS5. Something like that, where you get to really play with the controller itself and do cool things, and have software built in that kind of puts that out there. So I thought, that might be cool to have like Mario Paint Switch or something, or Mario's Playhouse or something like that, where you can really do cool, kind of even Labo-esque things using the controllers and just having fun. I thought that might be cool. Although the mouse, the use of the mouse itself isn't that interesting to me, because Joy-Cons are small. I've always had like cramping issues after a while of playing playing the system in handheld mode. So that's why I always when I got the chance, I leaned toward getting third-party Joy-Cons, basically, so I can get a nicer grip, and it's easier for me to play in long sessions and whatnot. Like this is way better to play than using the small little Joy-Cons. And I'm wondering how intuitive that mouse is going to be, especially on its narrow side. And you're kind of like, I have larger than normal hands, and not crazy big, but I have big hands, and the Joy-Con's already small. Obviously this one is a little bigger, so it might help a little bit more, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be small. It's a little bigger, but it's still going to be small to use, especially in that way, on that little narrow, the narrow side of it, and just kind of sliding it around. We'll see how intuitive that is. I'm not too keen on that. So for me, like I said, it was going to be underwhelming anyway, because I was hoping for more when it came to the ergonomics of it. I'm a big proponent of my Legion Go, as well as my Steam Deck here, OLED, by the way. And I wanted something that had, some more thickness, to the controller area. So this is very much like a Switch Pro, where you can take off the controllers itself. And this is already kind of an idea of, because this doesn't have the rail system, it's kind of an idea of what the Switch 2 is going to be, except it's magnetic. I think it's magnetic, and it clips on just by putting it to the side. This you have to kind of go low and then push up on it just slightly, and then it fits into place. But I wanted something with a little bit more, as you can see, thickness, pause, to the controller itself. Not, not so much the tablet. It doesn't have to be thicker, but it'd be nice to have that. But yeah, like I said, it's I think that's why it's not as exciting, and a lot of people are talking about that. And another cool thing about this is the grips. The grip, you got to buy this separately. But when you have bigger Joy-Cons, or if you will, it makes it way easier to put this in the grip and make it feel like a full controller. Like this feels like a full-on controller with this grip. Looks a little weird, obviously, with the V shape or the A shape, I guess. But this actually feels like a controller. Like I don't feel like I need to buy or bring my Xbox controller when I have this as my grip option, because it's not thin like the little Joy-Cons and whatnot. But I do have something that mimics kind of the magneticness of it, and this is pretty cool. But again, if the Joy-Cons were a little bigger, it could actually even do something like this. Now, this isn't the best. I'm trying to do this. There we go. As far as feeling like a full-on controller, but it's not too bad. This is a good, alternative. Now, these are magnetic, and you can pull them apart like that. And as you'll see, they snap together. Magnet, pull them apart. Easily snap together. So this is also cool, but this only works with bigger Joy-Cons. You have to have more thickness, pause, to your controller to make it feel like that. And it's close. Like maybe if it was just a little bit further out, this would feel like a full-on controller. And obviously these are your wrist straps. I mean, this thing is legally close to what the Switch is. And it's great. I love it. And it's said that it's actually going to be more powerful than the Steam Deck, which is good. I think it should be more powerful than the Steam Deck at this point. And the Steam Deck gets basically everything as far as games. Obviously, they get optimized for it. But the Switch is in a position where, or Switch 2 is in a position where, companies will go out of their way to optimize their games for it if it sells, especially even anywhere in the ballpark of what the Switch does. Now, I don't know if it'll be as powerful as the Legion Go here. This is pretty powerful. I think this is roughly a little more powerful, or around the power of Xbox Series S. And it's said that the Switch is just under that. So, I mean, that's pretty good. Especially because the S, I believe it has 12 gigs of RAM or something like that. Maybe it's even 10. So that'll work out really well for people who are already making games for the S to transition to making stuff for the Switch 2. I can't believe it's called. Well, I can believe it's called the Switch 2. I just wished it had like more pizzazz to it. It looks very Furukawa, very just like straight up business like. And a lot of people are kind of upset or talking about people who want more excitement, want more pizzazz. Oh, reinventing the wheel. It's not about reinventing the wheel. Nobody's asking for, a trapezoidal, a system that has like weird flying controllers or something. No, nobody's saying that. A certain amount of Nintendo fans like the exciting stuff. And by the way, the exciting stuff tends to sell better. I already pointed that out, that the Revolution console sells better. The Switch was the Revolution console, and it sold astronomically well. The Wii Revolution console, the crazy console, reinventing the wheel console, sold very well. The NES sold, slightly better, 10 million units or so, better than the Super NES. And I tend to like the Super NES more than the NES, but the revolutionary console sold more. The N64 sold better than the GameCube, right? The GameCube was basically an evolution of the N64, better graphics, but similar games, but bigger, better graphics and stuff. The N64 did better, and it's more beloved. I don't know. It's starting to change a little bit with the GameCube. As the age of people who grew up with the GameCube is they're in their mid 30s and whatnot to 40s, and so they have a little bit more nostalgia. So the GameCube is getting a little bit more love these days, but the GameCube did not do well. Like, it did 12 million less than the N64, which wasn't an astronomical success either, but it did better. So there's nothing wrong with people wanting a little pizzazz, because the pizzazz actually proves to sell better. Okay, it actually does prove out to sell better. The Game Boy was the evolution, or the revolution, on the Game Boy Advance, so less. I won't say worse, but there's obviously it was around longer. There's different iterations, so there's some nuance there. But again, this is what happens, Nintendo fans, because we've been catered to with the kind of crazier tastes. We like, we've been groomed with that. We like that. And there's nothing wrong with us, But because of the Switch, there's a lot of other fans who weren't raised up on Nintendo, who just want another one. So there's a little pushback there. But I get it. It's fine. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to things like, again, the Mario Paint thing, if that would be a thing, or something similar, some kind of creative software built into the system. That's the kind of stuff that can get me more excited. Obviously, what games are coming. The system going to be able to play more games. The mouse thing is cool because it's gonna make sure the Switch gets stuff like RTSs and you get better control in FPS games, first person shooter games. So it'll get more emphasis on those types of games. Point and click, which is not quite a thing anymore. It's a little different now, but those kind of similar, kind of investigative strategy-ish games that come out on PC, the Switch will get more of that, and that's exciting to me. So we're gonna see what happens. Is Miiverse coming back? What kind of share options we got? Mario Kart, whatever it's going to be called, Mario Kart X. Seems like it's going to have a lot more characters per race. It looked like 24 or something like that. So that's interesting. Donkey Kong has a new design. He has a design that's closer to his movie version than the previous designs of Donkey Kong. I actually kind of like it. It's kind of a throwback, but also modern at the same time. So there's a lot of cool stuff here. Just the trailer itself wasn't overly exciting. And now, when is the system coming out? I thought it would be coming out in April with the reveal, kind of a presentation reveal next month. Then a couple months later, the same way they did with the Switch, release the system. So I don't know. We're gonna see what happens. I'm excited for the more revelations, more information on the system, and we'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, that's my video here. That's my impressions of the Switch 2. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you satisfied? I don't really know how you could be, but are you excited for what's coming? They finally revealed the thing, so that's cool. And now it's just going to be more and more information. So I'm looking forward to that. Yep, let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you again for watching and listening, and I'll see you fools next time. Peace out.